During the spiritual insanity of the past 60 years, there was a quiet revolt developing against the Marxist takeover of the West. The counter-revolution, that's what it is, got its traction first in Catholic circles, among steady, unwavering, devout Catholics. And then, of course, they were joined by others who were of goodwill and plugged into authentic Catholic social teaching, as opposed to the social justice garbage that's sort of, we're gaslighted about that's Catholic social teaching. Not so much. That counter-revolution, for that's what it is, has now exploded onto the American political scene, and it's more than just ascendant. It is front and center. From the U.S. Supreme Court to many in Trump's inner circle, as well as cabinet nominees and various appointees, the Catholic-led revolution is now at the center of U.S. politics. What's being revealed as well is the civil war within the Catholic Church, where liberal, weak, or downright heretical bishops have held sway for a very long time. They populated chanceries and seminaries and parishes and religious orders with equally weak men who viewed the faith established by the Son of God personally as a means to undo Western civilization, beginning in the church. They weaponized Catholic theology and perverted the spirit of it to institute radical change across America and then, of course, by extension, every corner of the globe. It all started in the church decades before sweeping across the cultural landscape. It's why they all caved, completely folded in the face of the sexual revolution of the 1960s. They'd been prepared for that folding a few decades before. Some of them actually embraced that evil at the time, and today's weak bishops were all seminarians back in the 1960s and 70s, and they simply laid aside their faith to welcome the new zeitgeist. When it all finally caught up to them, it cost tens of millions of Catholic souls and billions in financial payouts for sex abuse crimes by them and their horribly formed clergy. Remember about all of that. They lied. They distorted the truth. They lawyered up. They re-abused victims by the thousands and signed God knows how many secret settlements to avoid the truth coming out. So, Catholics opposing them in the political arena should not just be excused, but actually applauded for their opposition to the scoundrel bishops and their minions all over the church, hiding behind a distinctly liberal and therefore insufficient reading of the church's teachings on immigration, as well as all kinds of other policy matters. The good news? Most of these errant bishops are on their way out, thank God. Retiring, aging out, dying. The generational change is more than afoot. It's happening. And while that is happening, a much more robust faith is emerging and taking its rightful place, first in the church and then going into the culture. The Son of God, the incarnate eternal Logos, cleansed the temple of its financial and moral corruption first, and then sent the apostles out to convert the world. Truly, I will be with you all days, even unto the consummation of the world. Seems like what's old is new again.